Kyleigh Fitzgerald, Senior Product Marketing Manager. Today I am joined by Anthony.
Hello, everybody. My name is Anthony Dutra, Technical Marketing Engineer here at Zerto.
And today we're really excited to talk to you guys about what we're predicting in terms of data protection for 2024. But in order to do that, we need to look at the data, right? So let's take a look at what happened in 2023 in terms of the market, what our customers have been telling us, and what some of the biggest impacts of cyber attacks were in 2023. So right off the bat, the biggest disruption to the data protection industry has been the rise or frequency of ransomware attacks. These events are happening more and more often, and they're really increasing in sophistication of their attacks as well. With ransomware as a service and independent bad actors, it leads us into the way that they are becoming more sophisticated is with the use of the second disruption, artificial intelligence or AI. We all know that we've seen a lot of positive come from AI, but there's going to be some negative impacts from it as well, as we see an increase of data being created, therefore, and the compute being used. Therefore, we're going to see an increase of potential risks with all of that data being at hand. And then lastly, we're going to have an increase of data-centric regulations and requirements. So in the event of a recovery, you're really going to need some zero trust architecture in place of your other solutions or in line with the rest of your solutions. So let's talk about some of the biggest attacks that we saw in 2023 that are really leading into these predictions and what we've been hearing from customers. Coming off strong, MGM Resorts. I think most of us were in Vegas around that time. Anthony, I believe you were actually presenting possibly at that time.
Yeah, of course. No, I was definitely, I believe during the time of this cyber attack, we were out there for at least one of the conventions. And yeah, it is scary to kind of think about such a huge financial impact that this had. And me being out there, being literally part of the organization that was attacked in itself, was my data compromised, and was, the millions of other people there's data compromised during this time. So it is staggering to see, especially after going back a couple of times, the impact in real time for yourself, and then to see the numbers at the end of the day of just the financial impact of having to recover from a ransomware attack to this extent is pretty mind-boggling.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that MGM attack was done through social engineering. They called in and hacked into the system, and it was using ransomware as a service. And yeah, as Anthony said, I mean, they were shutting down ATMs, slots, their website, booking systems. All the guests couldn't get into their rooms. And this happened for 10 days. And it was so costly that $10 million were spent for just the one-time recovery of this event. The second event would be Sony, that I want to note, as well as the city of Dallas, because what happened with those is where we're talking about the increase of number of events, not just across the board, but at a single company. Both Sony and the city of Dallas were impacted multiple times within 1 year because these bad actors had gained access and were still in there, even if they had paid the ransom or taken terms to protect themselves in the future. Most likely they were impacted because of that MOVEit breach, and that's how a lot of our data is out there and floating around, and these businesses are getting attacked more often, more frequently, and in ways that we're not really able to prevent. So bringing me to the fourth one, MCNDA Dental. It's the largest dental insurer in the country for government-sponsored Medicaid and PIP programs, if you're familiar in the United States. But what had happened is that MCNA had become aware of an unauthorized user gaining access to their computer systems, and they had been in their systems for well over a month. And that's really pointing to the zero trust architecture need and why the regulations and requirements are really starting to build across different countries in different industries as well. So what are last year's cyber attacks telling us? Let's get into it. The top 5 data predictions. Starting off strong, number 1 is AI. While there are many positive impacts and positive effects, there are equal negative impacts with how these bad actors are using it. And while there's that balance in the universe with the good and the evil, we'll be able to help talk you through how to combat that. Second would be ransomware. It's not going away. This has been a problem for years, and it's only growing with impact and sophistication with the use of AI and machine learning. Third, we're seeing zero trust, the need for an isolated, air-gapped environment. That's increasing, and the regulations and requirements are just getting stricter and more stringent for you all to meet for your various industries. Fourth, we're predicting a growth in partnerships, MGM being a great example of that. They had to spend $10 million for one-time deals with different technological vendors to help get them back on their feet. So we're really expecting a large growth in demand for people in these specialized security industries to help businesses that may not have the manpower in-house. And lastly, would be SaaS. Both the need to protect your SaaS solutions like Salesforce, Microsoft 365, things we use every single day, but also having options for SaaS-based cyber recovery solutions. So let's get into prediction number 1. As you can see here, the global spending on AI is expected to grow significantly through the next few years and beyond. And while there are many benefits in this adoption, we're seeing a lot of time saved for completing tasks, increased of accuracy, automation, the reduction of human error. There's also going to be a balance with that, with bad actors using AI to create ransomware as a service, to become more sophisticated with their own independent attacks. But as we mentioned, there is always a balance in the universe. And we are the masters of disaster. We are here to help you protect, prevent, and recover quickly from any downtime event. So what can Zerto do for you? First and foremost, we want to talk about our continuous data protection, or CDP. We have been the industry leaders since 2011 by delivering unmatched continuous data protection, RPOs of seconds and RTOs of just a few minutes. So minimal downtime and minimal data loss. And we're doing this with real-time replication at the block level. That's how we're able to achieve those low RPOs of seconds, as well as the unique journaling technology that's used underneath and a part of that continuous data protection. In this past year, we released Zerto 10, which now includes real-time encryption detection. With the fastest alerting systems, you can now isolate and mitigate attacks, and that's leading me into our second point. With Zerto 10, we're also offering a Zerto Cyber Resilience Vault with zero trust architecture. And third, tried and true, we offer the ability for you to test your DR strategies to make sure that what you have in place is going to work without impacting your production environment. So you can test to make sure that you're doing things well, so that in the event that you do need to recover, that you know that you're going to be able to do it quickly and easily and have those low RPOs and low RTOs. So let's talk about prediction number 2. This is all leading into what we've been talking about. We're going to see ransomware run rampant in 2024 and beyond. In a recent IDC survey, 90% of the organizations had acknowledged that they'd been attacked by malware, which is only going to increase and only going to happen more and more often after the first occurrence. 87% of those attacks were successful, and which means that they either paid the ransom or got what they wanted in terms of the data, and the company never got it back. And by the year 2031, it's expected to be a $265 billion industry. And these attacks are probably going to be happening every 2 seconds. And so in terms of those text messages that you're getting that are from familiar looking numbers, emails that you're getting from somebody that looks like they're in your organization, social engineering is definitely being well used here for these ransomware attacks, and as mentioned before, used for that MGM Grand attack. So how do we combat that? What we have today is ransomware resilience through real-time encryption detection. Anthony, what do you want to reflect on here?
No, great points, Kyleigh. So I think these are alarming numbers absolutely within themselves. So the rise of ransomware, the ease of adoption that AI is having literally across every aspect of the data center itself to support on the front end is going to just make these numbers even more staggering and even more, a problem. So how does Zerto sort of play our part in, providing a layer of defense in terms of ransomware resilience? Well, within our most recent release, we introduced real-time sort of anomaly encryption detection, alerting, basically ensuring that whatever virtual instance or virtual machine that you are protecting with Zerto inline is, we're detecting whether that encryption rate is anomalous or not. So this provides not only yourself a nice first layer of defense to see, hey, something's funky going on, but when you do maybe pair that with another SIEM tool, with another observability platform, right, to really narrow down and identify that threat, you can then recover very granularly, again, using our standard journal technology to a point in time that is not only operationally efficient, but is going to happen before that blast radius even occurred. So again, a lot of this is happening out of the box. It's much more, I like to use the word operationally efficient than, let's say, a backup, which would have a copy, let's say, hours or days old. And what we're doing is really playing our part in ensuring that your applications that are mission critical to your business are have that layer of ransomware resilience overall. So here's that replicate the tech story playing a little bit into, playing a larger role into what we talked about before. We're using the Zerto journaling technology to identify these weird looking checkpoints, saying, hey, these look suspicious, and then giving you a clean checkpoint to say, hey, instead roll back to this point in time here. And we've also exposed our open APIs, right? We have Swagger APIs. So if you're a Zerto customer today, I'm sure you're probably trying to automate a lot of processes using our APIs. This is another level where you can pull data from Zerto and say, oh, hey, these were these suspect checkpoints, suspect volumes, suspect VMs that our encryption detection picked up in itself. So we have people using it today. Manufacturing customer gave a really, really nice quote there. In terms of how it is helping them mitigate risk as well as identify something being funky within their environment. And again, it builds that confidence and trust overall within the platform at a higher level. And now again, build on top of this, zero trust, right? So I think, Kyleigh, you've been mentioning it, a lot of social engineering, a lot of different ways that ransomware is getting within systems, staying within them, and compromising them. Well, one way that we're really within the cybersecurity space looking to combat this is through zero trust. So it's really not trusting anything that you're authenticating against. And maybe we're putting up multi-factor authentication now, which I'm sure you're seeing in every single app you use, to also identify that, okay, yeah, this computer logged in as this person, but now we're going to text them on their phone and they're going to verify that they're that person as well. So there's these principles already put in at a very, very, consumer level, but at the data center level, at the architecture level, when you're looking at, let's say, vault technologies, how and who is getting into that clean, immutable copy of your data, and what permissions and ways of access do we have in order to ensure that we can, ensure this data is safe, but also that it's recoverable and that we can actually use it. So zero trust is going to be a necessity, again, at the consumer level, and then all the way down at the architecture level overall. And that's where the Zerto Cyber Resilience Vault is offering that from a usability standpoint. So we're taking really the best of breed hardware, everything from HPE ProLiant servers, the Electra, and then HPE Aruba networking, and we're bundling that with the Zerto technology to provide you an isolated, air-gapped, and immutable, and we're calling it like a zero trust architecture. It's an isolated recovery environment plus vault that is purpose-built for cyber recovery. So you can think of this as your last line of defense in worst case scenarios, but we're providing all of the key things that would be critical within a cyber recovery or a vault architecture together. And really what we're doing in order to ensure that usability or where we're really differentiating, to be honest, is the speed of recoverability. So we're really front-ending this solution when it comes to recovering with Zerto itself, from the landing zone, to the production environment it being replicated from is all Zerto. And then we rely on a lot of the HPE architecture, recoverability from Electra itself, the immutable copies from that, in order to recover from the vault itself. But once it gets to that first layer, you're really talking about hours of recovering from a complete blackout scenario compared to days. You're talking about, again, hours of recovery time, making sure that you are at the specific console that you need, and you're only doing a minimal amount of operations to bring everything back online. We're, again, taking that from days to hours. So with the really secret sauce that has been Zerto for so long, that journal-based recovery, we have aimed ourselves to be to really try to lead the way in terms of cyber recovery and how quickly you can return operationally back online from these sort of massive ransomware attacks itself. And we can't do this alone. So Kyleigh, I know you kind of work with a lot of different partners and talk to a lot of different customers that are working with people to sort of combat ransomware. Are you seeing these numbers sort of held true?
Yes, absolutely. We are definitely seeing a large increase, and that brings us to prediction number 4 of the need for partnerships. Whether you don't have the resources or manpower in-house, or it's just a means of increasing your level of protection or data protection across the board. We're going to see this global DRZ market significantly increase over the next few years. MGM being that great example of how they spent $10 million in one-time costs and fees just to recover from that single event. We're going to see people doing it more proactively this year in 2024. And there's really no better place than Zerto to turn for help if you're looking for a DRZ partner. We have over 2,000 partners now that we have joined HPE and a part of that HPE family. But we have over 350 plus MSPs that are using Zerto. There was an IDC survey a few years ago that found that around 10 out of 11 white glove services of DRZ platforms were using Zerto underneath. And it really gives you guys the opportunity to have a lot of flexibility in how you want to manage and protect your data. You can either do partially or fully managed, and with that, you'll get the 24/7 support with experienced engineers and architects that do this day in and day out if you don't have the staff or means to do it internally. And overall, at the end of the day, it's really truly cost effective because you have opportunity to pay as you go. You're going to remove the cost of DR data centers and reduce that production overhead, and therefore giving you that predictive billing month over month, so that you don't have any question marks at the end of the day of how much you're spending to protect your business and keep yourselves online.
Right. That's what I really like about this slide here is really for both sort of folks, right? If you're a customer looking to find a DRZ provider, then the increase in partnership is definitely growing in terms of spend, and the market's moving that way because they're able to specialize a lot easier. It's a lot more hands-off. But even if you are just a regular MSP, maybe not doing DRZ today, are considering it, there's a lot of flexibility in terms of the Zerto deployment itself and how we go about doing that, and then how you can offer that sort of usability back to your customers. And you yourself focus on what you specialize in. Maybe that's some like detection features, observability, etc. And then let Zerto do that DRZ portion for you. So if you are looking to adopt, right, DRZ, very interesting to see that spend is going that way. And it should be very compelling to those organizations out there who are like, should I provide a DRZ solution? Well, people are spending the money that way. You might as well leverage what you're good at and let Zerto do the rest in terms of providing you that service. So sorry, Kyle, I just wanted to jump in there.
No, absolutely. It's a great point because it's opportunity on both ends. And really at the end of the day, it allows you to work with partners that you know well already, and allows for partners to easily adopt the industry leading disaster recovery solution and offer it to you to make things easy as you protect and recover in these downtime events. So leading into prediction number 5, the final prediction here today is we're going to see an acceleration of SaaS adoption. You can see here that the global SaaS end user spending is estimated to grow significantly through 2024. About a 20% increase has happened even in just the past couple years. So what we're going to really see, though, is not just an increase of adoption and use of SaaS solutions like Microsoft 365 or Salesforce, but we're also going to see an increase of SaaS-based cyber recovery solutions. So bringing us to our next slide is the opportunity to get data protection with HPE GreenLake, the hybrid cloud platform. What we have done is we have worked with HPE since acquisition and have launched a SaaS-based DR solution called HPE GreenLake for disaster recovery. It's using that continuous data protection so that you can get those low RPOs and low RTOs. But the real beauty is that this solution is offered alongside a lot of different other data services so that you can have a single place from a single cloud console using a single API and a single vendor to not only protect your data in short term with disaster recovery and achieve those low RPOs and RTOs, but as well as with backup and recovery. We have HPE GreenLake for backup and recovery that is offering you that long-term retention and at a very cost-effective price. And these solutions are slowly getting more and more integrated. So as you set up global protection policies, you're going to be able to do that in one fell swoop, making this a really simplified process for anyone and accessible to anyone, as it's on a global cloud console that you can sign in from anywhere in the world on any device to get started. And while we talked about these being SaaS-based, cyber recovery solutions or disaster recovery and backup solutions, what we haven't talked about or touched on is the need for protection for your SaaS applications. So that brings us to Zerto Backup for SaaS, which is actually powered by Keepit, which makes things really simple and easy for you to use. And Anthony, I know that you work with Keepit a lot. What are you seeing in terms of the adoption here?
You guys have a big Keepit Zerto for Backups for SaaS fan on this call right here. But because honestly, go from any small business that we talked to today to the largest enterprise with thousands and thousands of employees, they are using some sort of SaaS platform to do their their CRM management, Active Directory you see on here, Microsoft 365. I'm pretty sure we're representing this on PowerPoint right now. right, there is this growing need for backup and immutability to meet those compliance standards for those growing regulations today. And I can't think of any other things that are more important or that contribute to the generation of the terabytes and terabytes of data out there today than these platforms. So that's why I think it is of utmost importance to have a sort of backup solution that allows for that same level of granular recovery that Zerto provides. That's extremely easy and simple to use, that really integrates with these platforms, so it's hands-off from a backup administrator standpoint when it comes to protecting this data. And again, knowing that it's taking care for you offsite somewhere else, it's immutable, you don't have to worry about it, and it's compliant from a backup standpoint is just of enormous value. So again, another thing that in terms of that growing trend, I think Zerto and Zerto Backup for SaaS powered by Keep It in particular plays of enormous value, and we'll see more of come 2024 for sure.
So what we've talked about today is offering you a complete data protection portfolio with HP and Zerto. We're offering you ways to meet every single SLA and protect every single workload. From your tier 1, tier 2 applications you see here on the left, which is where Zerto comes in, protecting your VMs into public cloud. You can, as we've mentioned, work with a partner so that you can work with a DRZ model that's more flexible for your business and your needs and special requirements. And we also offer it in a cost-effective way with HP GreenLake for disaster recovery. That is a more simplified approach that can be used alongside other services like HP GreenLake for backup and recovery, which protects you down to your tier 3 to tier 4 applications that are more business critical. You're going to have those requirements for long-term retention, doing backups daily, which is another reason why you would want something a little more cost-effective, because the amount of data that's going to be stored and for long periods of time, dependent on your industry. And then that sweet spot in the middle, if we're really covering everything now by offering the Zerto Cyber Resilience Vault and pairing with HPE to create this isolated air-gapped environment so that you can protect yourself to meet every SLA and have protection across the board for every single workload.
Yeah, and I think this is.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, good. If that's what's exciting about, I think, coming in 2024, especially being part of the HPE family today, there is no one right answer for data protection. And you can see that, hey, whatever you require, we're able to provide from that layered approach that ability to back up and, or even just from a disaster recovery point, recover from. So it's very exciting in terms of the challenges that we are going to be facing when it comes to the adoption of AI, as you mentioned before, the data that it's going to produce, but also how it's going to make bad actors a lot more easier to create things like ransomware, and really just make life a lot more of a living hell in that terms of perspective. So it's very exciting to know that there is data protection across the board in terms of what you need. And yeah, Kyleigh, it'll be interesting to see how things progress forward this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do we want you guys to do with this information today? We want you to walk away knowing that you have a complete portfolio and options to protect yourselves at every single level from tier 1 through tier 4. And bring ourselves to that last slide. We offer different ways for you to experience these things firsthand. Please reach out to us, HP or Zerto directly, info@zerto.com. You can email us and get in contact with one of our team members to see what your business may need, what you guys need specifically, and how we can help you through that. If you're really eager, we offer hands-on labs that are free, self-paced, and on demand. So just go to zerto.com/labs. And then both HP GreenLake for disaster recovery as well as HP GreenLake for backup and recovery are offering 90-day free trials. So you can go and check those out on their specific pages, or you can test drive HP GreenLake the hybrid cloud platform to see the other services and solutions also offered in there for all of your data needs. And we can tell you this all day, but it's really nice when you can hear these things coming from your peers. So we recommend you guys checking us out on different review sites. This past year, we won 3 awards across the board for the Peer Spot reviews. So go check those out, talk to your friends in the industry, talk to your colleagues, and you can see that we're a tried and true solution. We have offered tried and true solutions, and we are truly experts in the field and industry leaders that can offer you that complete data protection portfolio. So thank you all. I appreciate everybody that joined today. Let's take a look, see if we have any questions, Anthony.
I'm just going to stop sharing my screen quick. We have.
Oh, I see a first one here. So what is the architecture of the cyber resilience vault?
Yes, so basically you'll have, the vault is consistent of 2 pieces. The first piece is what we call the landing zone. Basically you use Zerto to replicate from your production site to that landing zone itself. From there, the landing zone is set up with Reliant servers, some switching, and then an Electra array. That Electra array is air gap connected to what is now the second piece of the full architecture, what we should consider the vault. So on the other side, there's going to be more Reliant servers, the Aruba switching to provide that air gapped replication between the 2 Electra arrays. So very much from compute down to storage, networking, all of the software on top of it. It's Zerto plus the best of breed within the industry in terms of hardware technology.
Yeah, great. I see another question that just came in here too. Is data protection for HPE GreenLake provided by HPE or through third parties? That would be directly through HPE. So, and it's software as a service that is self-serve. So you would sign up for free for HPE GreenLake, and you can do that test drive for free. And then you can also request those free trials for HPE GreenLake for disaster recovery, as well as HPE GreenLake for backup and recovery for 90 days. And that would be directly through HPE. And so if you're already working with an HPE partner, definitely reach out to them. Or if you already speaking to an HPE rep, they would be happy to help you. But here today, Zerto, we are the experts. These are our primary products. So we're happy to guide you through that process if you would like to navigate it with us. Anthony, did you want to answer anything on that?
No, you're good.
Cool. Sure. All right, one more question I think we'll handle here. What do we see? Is the encryption detection an extra license? Go ahead. Yeah.
No, it is not. So it is part of your, Zerto subscription. You have to pay no extra for that alert.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So lot of value in Zerto 10 that just released this past year with all of these components, making the solution really accessible and great for all. So I don't think we have any more questions. If you guys have any further, please, again, reach out, info@zerto.com. Happy to answer you directly, get a personalized demo. And otherwise, yeah, feel free, reach out to Anthony and I. Always happy to talk to different people in the industry and see what you guys are seeing or hearing and how we may be able to adapt to coming changes in 2024 and beyond.
Thank you, Kyleigh. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Anthony. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.